Poetry is described as a literary work in which special intensity is given to the expression of feelings and ideas by the use of a distinctive style and rhythm. But I believe they are much more than that. Poetry is not only a form of expression, it is also an art, a type of release, and for some, a form of outcry. This is referring to Maya Angelou, a well-known American author, poet, and civil rights activist. Maya was born on April 4th, 1928, in St. Louis, Missouri, and died just last year on May 28th, 2014, in Winston-Salem, California. She was obviously a sassy woman, as seen in her poem Still I Rise, and I quote, "Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room." Yet, beyond that, she was a strong believer in freedom, and after growing up during a time where prejudices towards African Americans and women were still dominant, her most famous poem, Caged Bird, is viewed as a shout for freedom, and it is what I chose to present today. I believe this poem may be a metaphor for the prejudices placed upon society in Maya Angelou's time, as well as her feelings towards overcoming many challenges that were in her life. Though it does not say this specifically, the symbolism of the caged bird shows the inner feelings of turmoil and the longing for freedom. When making references to the free bird, it says phrases such as dares to claim the sky and names the sky his own. It shows her want for freedom and her need to control it. Yet, when she speaks of the caged bird, she says, "But a caged bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage." This shows the anger felt from the oppression. The caged bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown but long for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. I feel this is the most symbolic of all, as it hints upon how regardless of our captivity, we speak of freedom. This poem was written in 1969 as sort of a reflection of her past growing up. The poem symbolizes a person with freedom, how they feel no strife with limitless time and opportunity. They have dreams of opportunities and take the future as their own, whereas an indentured person holds on to the sorrow, often blinding themselves with anger towards oppression. Those who are oppressed long for the unknown feeling of freedom. They cry and speak of its illusions out of envy, and the indentured man holds no hope for the future, so he turns his voice against oppression and cries of mournful injustice. They sing of hope and freedom when neither are available to them. Their voices reach far and wide, and the injustice is heard around the world. Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays as he dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped, his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings a fearful trill of things unknown but long for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, of the trade wind soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worm sitting on the drawn bright lawn. He names the sky his own. But the caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped, his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown but long for still. His tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.